What I've done most recently is to work on editing the April 11, my dinner video. In Camtasia Studio 2019. I imported the photos and screenshots that make up the photo part. For the very beginning of the video. And then I also imported the raw video files from my phone. And imported everything to my laptop using my phone charger with the adapter end removed to use it as a tether between my phone and my laptop. I then imported everything I imported from my phone into Camtasia 2019. And that was when and how I started working on editing the April 11 my dinner video during the early night hours. I recall during the first hours of today having one of those tubes of milk chocolate M&M minis. And I had a Reese's peanut butter egg. Before I fell asleep today, around roughly 4:30 in the morning. And then I recall waking up for today around 11:30 in the morning. That was the last time I woke up today. I recall there was a point in which I woke up around somewhere between 9:45 in the morning and 10:30 in the morning. But I fell back asleep within a few minutes at most. As at that time I had both of the windows upstairs here open. And at the time it was a low 40s in Fahrenheit outside. When I checked around 11:45 in the morning to noon, sometime around there was when I checked. So it was pretty cold at that time. Not enough to make it horribly uncomfortable, but it was definitely noticeably cold. That created a desire to stay in my blankets. After I got up for today, I closed both windows. Sometime after initially reducing how much they were open, they were open to just a little bit. Both windows are currently closed. And it currently feels room temperature in here. I recall around 12:45 p.m. having with my first cup of plain coffee leftover corn, chicken, and broccoli. that was left over from my dinner video over the past few days. I remember that piece of broccoli having a salty taste to it. Perhaps due to some kind of seasoning, but that piece of broccoli was still enjoyable. The corn and chicken were enjoyable too. Both of those tasted as I would have expected them to taste. Like what they are. I recall having 2 full cups of coffee and a partial third cup. That was about a third of a cup. From 12:45 p.m. to about 3:15 p.m. to 3 p.m. at the latest. Roughly from 3:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. I did my usual 30-minute HIIT workout. By following along that same video I always follow along to. The cup I'm using currently to have some whole milk. I used it to sip at tap water. During the HIIT workout after the first set was completed. First of 3 sets in total. Which I completed. During the workout, I drank roughly a third of the tap water. And then I finished the rest in that spare room I always go to cool down after completing some exercise. Which in this case is predominantly that HIIT workout. Around 4 8:45 p.m. I had with a second glass of tap water out of this glass, 2 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches I prepared myself, putting 4 slices of refined bread in our toaster. I just did a light toast, just enough to make the bread hard enough so I could spread on the peanut butter, smooth peanut butter. Followed by the grape jelly. This one's cookies and cream. Which historically I tend to like at least a little more than cookie dough. Though that's probably due to the Oreo cookie pieces. And my dad said I could have this earlier today. I remember at some point during the mid to late afternoon hours, I made efforts to harvest huge fields of black onions that I planted after plowing at an earlier point. And despite black onions having a harvest to wither time of 4 hours, I was able to harvest nearly all of them, only losing a handful, despite also having to feed a total of 16 bears at the same time. Though admittedly for that, I used some chocolate dipped strawberries, so I would have enough energy for that. And I only lost a handful of black onion fields, and I think roughly 6 bears, if I recall correctly, in total, because I got distracted by something and forgot about those black onions and bears.